Okay, so good day everyone. So we are now on the second lesson under the chapter 2 of statistical analysis and software applications. So which is the histogram, frequency polygon, and Ogives. Okay, so for today's video and for today's learning outcome, at the end of the lesson, you'll be able to represent the frequency distributions graphically using histograms, frequency polygons, and Ogives. So after you have organized the data in the frequency distribution table. So you are about to represent it or present it into a graphical form. So the purpose of graphs in statistics is to convey the data to the viewers in pictorial form. So it is the easier for most people to comprehend the meaning and of the data represented graphically than that data represented numerically in the table or frequency distribution form. So it is especially true if the user have a little or no knowledge in statistics. So statistical graphs can be used to describe data set or to organize or to analyze. So graphs are also useful in getting the audience attention in the publication or speaking presentation. So they can be used to discuss an issue, reinforce a critical point, and summarize data or data set. So they can also be used to discover the trend or patterns in the situation over a period of time. So there are three most commonly used graph in research. So those are the histogram, the frequency polygon, and the cumulative frequency graph or yung tinatawag na Ogive. Okay, so let's start with histogram. So histogram is a graph that displays the data using a continuous vertical graphs. So unless the class is 0. So the various heights of represent the frequencies of the classes. So continuous means if we were going to translate it in Tagalog, so that is magkakadikit. Okay, so meaning there is no gap. So as you observe in the figure below, okay, as you can see, uh, bars has no gaps. So look at this one. No gaps. There is no gap here, and then no gaps here. So it was said here that unless the frequency of the class is 0, for example, the frequency from 25.5 to 30.5 is 0. So makikita natin siya na para lang siyang may graph. Pero in reality, ang frequency nito ay 0. So in this case, hindi naman siya 0 kaya may height siyang ganon. So now, let us proceed to example. So let us use record high temperature as our example from our previous lesson. Okay, so our task is to construct the histogram to represent the data shown for the record high temperatures for each 50 states. Okay, so take note in histogram, okay, the data that we are about to use are the class boundaries and then the frequency. Okay, so take note of that. Class boundary for histogram and its frequency. Okay, so why do we use class boundaries? So kanina nga 'di ba, kailangan daw sa histogram ay wala siyang gaps. Okay, so tingnan natin yung bawat classes ng class boundary natin dito. So let us take a look at this one. So first class natin is 99.5 to 104.5. Okay, next classes is 104.5 to 109.5. Okay, as you observe, etong upper limits, okay, ng upper true class boundary ng first class natin ay is the same to the lower limit or the lower true class boundaries of the second class natin. So, kung kapag ito i-graph natin, wala na tayong makikitang gap doon. Okay, so same thing like this one, 109, 114.5, 119.5, 124.5, 129.5. So, ayan, nagre-represent yan ng continuous. Okay, ng continuous yan.
So this is the way how to construct a histogram for the records high temperature. So yung mga data na kailangan natin is yung mga class boundaries and then the frequency. So from our previous example. Okay, so first, okay, so we need to draw a horizontal line. Okay. And then the vertical lines. Okay, so take note that in every horizontal line, this is our x-axis, and then for vertical lines, this is our y-axis. Okay, so in labeling both axes for horizontal lines, maging reference natin ay yung class boundaries. Okay, so bilangin natin yung class boundaries natin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8 kasama natin si 99.5. So let us count from 0. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Okay, so let us label. So this is 99.5. Next is 104.5, 109.5, 114.5, 119.5, then 124.5, 129.5, then we have 134.5. Okay, so this is only the extension. Okay, so for our vertical axis, so as we can see, we have 2, 4, 2, 8, 18, 13, 17, 7, 1, and then 1. So, pwede nating labelan yan by 2s. So, tingnan natin. So, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay, so abot siya doon. So, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, okay, 18. So, abot siya dito. Okay. So, level na natin. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and then 18. Okay, so lumagpas lang siya ng konti. Ngayon, so paano natin siya i-graph? Okay, so mula sa cross boundary natin na 99.5 to 104, nasan yon? So ito yon. So ang frequency daw niya ay 2. Nasan si 2? Ito. So most likely, nandito yon. Yan. So ito yung frequency from 99.9 up to 104. So, tuwirin natin. So, from 99.9 up to 104.5. Okay, next. What is the frequency from 104.5 to 109? So, we have 8. So, this is our 8, and this is our class boundaries. So, we have 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6, 8. So, okay. So, dito siya. Okay. And then, this part naman. So, 8. Yan. Next is from 109.5 to 114. So, ito siya. So, may 18 ang frequency niya. So, we have here. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay. And then from here, bilang ulit tayo 18 units pataas. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay. So let us draw a line. And then this one. Okay, next. From 114 to 119. So, ito na yun. So, ito si 12 and then 14. So, most likely sa gitna niya. Okay. So, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And then this is our 13. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Yeah. So, draw a line. Okay, next is from 119.5 to 124.5. Okay, so nasan yun? Ito yun. So, ang frequency niya is 7. So, we have 2, 4, 6, 8. So, ang 7 is in between 6 and 8. So, bilangin na natin. We have 2, 4, 6, 8. So, ito yung 6, ito yung 8. So, most likely sa gitna niya. Ito si 7. Okay. So, 2, 4, 6, 8, 7. Okay, next is 124.5 up to 129.5. So, eto na yon. So, bilang lang tayo ng 1. Kung 2 to, so eto si 1. And so, draw a line. Yan. So, last one from 129.5. Ito yun. To 300. 134.5. So, merong 1 unit. So, same height para sa kabila. So, draw a line. Ayan. Okay, so that is how we create a histogram for the record high temperature.
Okay, so the second graph that I'm about to discuss to you is the frequency polygon. So, ano naman yung frequency polygon? Sabi dyan, the frequency polygon is a graph that displays the data by using line that connects point plotted for the frequencies at the midpoint of the classes. Okay, so the frequencies are represented by heights of the points. So, as we remember the class boundaries, di ba, meron siyang meron siyang frequency, meron siyang height. Okay, so kukunin natin yung gitnang portion ng per boundaries na yon. Okay, so paano kunin yung gitnang portion yon? So ayan. Okay, so next is the frequency polygon. Okay, so let us construct frequency polygon from our previous example, which is the record high temperature. Okay, so take note, in frequency polygon, we need to get the midpoints of the lower two class boundaries and then the upper class boundaries. So, ito yung formula yon. So, the midpoint also called as the class mark. So, the formula that we need to use, or we're about to use, is lower two class boundaries plus upper two class boundaries over 2. So, that is our class mark or midpoint. So, let's start with our first class, which is 99.5 up to 104.5. Okay, so i-add natin siya and then divide by 2. 99.5 plus 104.5 over 2 is equal to 102. So this is our midpoint for first class. Okay, in second class natin, 104.5 plus 109.5 all over 2 or divided by 2 is equals to 107. Okay, so this one. Okay, next is 109.5 plus 114.5 all over 2 is equals to 112. Next is 114.5 rather plus 119.5 all over 2 is equals to 117. Okay, next is 119.5 plus 124.5 all over 2 is 122. Okay, next is 125.5 plus 129. Oh, 124.5 plus 129.5 all over 2 is equals to 127. And then the last one is 199.5 plus 134.5 all over 2 is equals to 132. So, ito na yung gagamitin natin sa x-axis natin, yung midpoint na yan. So, still our y-axis is the frequency.
Okay, so this is how we construct a frequency polygon for the record high temperature. So the data that we needed are the midpoints and then the frequency. Okay, yung midpoints natin, ito yung horizontal, yung sa x-axis natin, yung frequency natin ay yung vertical lines. Okay, so let us have a graph. So this is our horizontal axis and then our vertical axis. Okay, so ilan yon? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So from 0, count 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Next is, okay, let's do it by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay, so we have here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. About 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So let us have a label. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So this is our frequency. And then, ito naman nasa baba. So we have, just copy the midpoint. So we have 102, 107, 112, 117, 122, 127, and 132. So this is our midpoints. May tinatawag na class mark. Okay, so how do we construct the frequency polygon? Okay, so ang gagawin natin ay i-plot natin using dot. Okay, so ano yung frequency na 102? So that is 2. So from 102 is 2. Next, ano yung frequency na 107? So that is 8. So ito sa 107 at ito naman si 8. Okay, next, frequency ni 112 is 18. So we have 112 and then 18. Okay, next one, frequency ni 117. So that is 13. So ito si 17 at ito naman si 12. Lagpas lang ng gitna. So 13. Okay, next, frequency ni 122. So, ito sa 122, ang frequency niya ay 7. So, ito si 6, sa gitna niyan ay 7. So, 6, angat ng konti, 7. Okay, next, frequency ni 123. 27 is 1. So, ito si 2. So, sa gitna niya ay 1. And then, last one, frequency ni 132. So, 1 din siya. So, pantay lang siya dito. Okay, ngayon. So, just connect the dots from 0. Okay, hanggang ma-connect natin yung lahat. So, let's start with 0. Then, connect natin. Okay, next. From here, or from this point up to here, this point. Okay, so from this point up to this point. Okay, from this point up to this point. From this point and then this point. Okay, this point up to this point. Okay, at yung point na to. Okay, so i-unlock siya natin. So this is the frequency polygon of record high temperature.
Okay, so the last graph is the Ogive. Okay, so Ogive is a graph that represents the cumulative frequency for the classes in the frequency distribution. Okay, so here is the example of the graph of the Ogive. Okay, so yan yon. So, paano naman gawin yan? Okay, so let us have an example. So again, we're going to use the record high temperature for an example. So in Ogive, we're about to use the cumulative frequency. Okay, and then itong mga less than 99, less than 104. So itong mga points na to, ito yung gagamitin natin to create the Ogive. Okay, to create a Ogive graph.
So this is how to construct Ogive for record high temperature. So just like what we did sa histogram and then sa frequency polygon, so let us have first the horizontal and vertical axis. Horizontal and vertical axis. And okay, so what's next? So label this one as X and then this is Y. So this is our, so yung lower part na to, ito yung class boundary natin. Boundary, at ito namang vertical line na to, ito yung cumulative frequency. Cumulative frequency. So ngayon, label na natin to. So 7 yun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is our 99.9, 104.5. So this could be 109.5. Next is 114.5. We have 119.5, 124.5, 129.5, and then 134.5. Okay, so those are our x-axis. Ngayon, construct naman natin itong vertical axis. Okay, so tingnan natin kung kasya ng by 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay, so since 50 yung highest frequency natin, so pwede natin siyang ilagay hanggang 50. Okay, so from 0, so we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and then 50. Okay, so ngayon, uh, ipa-plot natin yung points kung saan tapat yung frequency niya. So, since ang frequency ni 99.5 ay 0, so ito lang siya. Okay. Next, yung frequency ni 104.5. Okay, so 2. So, ito si 5. Kung yung gitna niya ay 3, so baba lang tayo ng konti. Yan. So, tansyahin lang natin. Okay, we have 109.5. Ang frequency niya ay 10. So, ito si 10. At ito naman si 9.5. Okay, next. Ang frequency ni 14. 114 is 28. Okay. 28 lagpas siya ng 30. Bago siya mag 30. So, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So, babaw lang siya ng 2 units. So, that is 28. Okay, next. 119 is 41. Okay, so bilang tayo. Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So, ito si 40. Lagpas lang ng isang unit. So, 41. Okay, next is 48 para sa 124.5. So, 124.5, 48 units upward. So, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and then 46, 47, 48. So, nandito siya. Okay, next is 129.5. Okay, ang frequency niya ay 49. So, lagpas lang ng isang unit din sa 124.5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So, 49. Yeah. Okay, last one is 134.5 is 50 units. Cumulative frequency niya ay 50. So, we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Yeah. So, ngayon, connect natin yung mga dots na yan. So, yan. So, we're done creating Ogives for record high temperature.
So, okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for listening and God bless.